Geez, that's a bright light. It's been a long time. We haven't talked. So, I don't know, it's been like 6 months or something, who knows. Anyway, tonight I'm gonna smoke a joint with you. This stuff's called Lemon Cherry Gelato. It's fucking amazing weed. It's pre-rolled, 22 bucks a pack. Cannabis store, anyone basically can get it from. So, I am now, because I don't ever I haven't done these in a long time, I am sitting out Southwood. I am at the Starlight Museum, basically, out in Torrance, but I found a spot where I sit. It's dark. It's about 8 o'clock almost, or probably later. Sorry, it's 10 after 8. And not too often do I come out here at night. It kind of freaks me out sometimes, but seeing as it's the Halloween season, and I think I owe my audience, you people that subscribe, people that follow me, my family, I think I owe you guys an episode. So sit back, and I'm going to free flow a story as I'm sitting here, thinking at pretty much the top of my head. It's going to be a short one, but it's going to be a decent one. And tell me what you guys think. And if you guys have better horror stories or things you've encountered, let me know. So I always get this eerie feeling out here. Like, I know it's old land, millions of years, people. You don't understand. Like, there's animals here, vegetation, a lot of things here that aren't anywhere else in the world. So that's one reason why I come here, and I love Muskoka. And the stars are bright at night. Unfortunately, tonight, it's overcast because it's been raining. It's the middle of October, almost October 10th or 11th or some shit. Or, sorry, it's Friday the 13th. That's even funnier, guys. It's Friday the 13th, okay? So I'm out here in Torrance at the fucking flats. I'm going to get stoned with you guys. I'm going to tell you a ghost story. So let me light this shit, and let's do it. Because sometimes I get freaked out here. I've seen things, people. I told you this. I've been to cemeteries and stuff. Anyway. Okay, so I always had a feeling like it's kind of like Pet Sematary, right? Like, I always thought, what if I had an idea in my mind for a story or a ghost story. It's like, what if the ground was sour out here? Everything's been out here a long time. There's been probably native tribes that have lived out here. There's been people that have camped. For 20, almost 30 years, I've come out here, people. So when you used to be able to camp out here, I had parties and stuff with friends. I've already mentioned this in past prior episodes. And I miss some of those friends that are long gone or lost in communication. We don't really talk anymore, whatever. People went their own ways. I have a few friends I still deal with. But anyway, all that aside, and you come out here one night, and the guy that was out here the night before, well, he had issues. Maybe he was going through shit in his life. I don't know. Maybe he's possessed by a demon at his own residence or his house or a spirit. But he come out here, and he after murdering his family, takes them out and buries them out in the patch, way out in the yonder, way past the fucking giant lake over there. Well, it's not giant, but it's a decent sized lake that no one knows, that not people know about, sorry. And off in the land, there's a hillside where it's all trees. I've never been over there, but it used to scare the shit out of me. And I'd sit out in rainstorms and look over there and lightning and stuff. I've been out here a lot, in a lot of weather, people. You don't understand. When it rains really hard out here in Torrance, because we're at, I don't know, it's something to do with the atmosphere and I don't know. I can't explain it to you. I'm not a meteorologist or a weather guy or whatever. But I always thought, like, so, and then that guy takes off, and then some poor unsuspecting tourist or even local, who knows, right? They come out here, and they come to chill out like me, like I'm doing tonight. Now, I've spent a lot of my time in my vehicles watching TVs. It started out with PSPs with little sound systems. I used to watch my little PSP movies. Then it evolved to a portable DVD player, which I've done for over a decade or so. I love the little DVD players. And then I've upgraded to my phone. And I never used a phone until my brother gave me this one. And I love this phone. It's the Galaxy S8 or 7 or something. Who knows? It's a little bit outdated, but it's fucking amazing. Anyway, I broadcast these movies and do this shit. But all that aside, you're out, and your guys out here watching TV, and the car's dead. It's dark around him. The ignition's off, and then he gets this eerie feeling that something's watching him. He's not sure which direction. Could it be out the left side, the right side, behind him, in front of him? He's come out here a lot of times in the day, but the atmosphere is way different at night, people. It really is. Even as I'm sitting here, it's kind of, my hair is raising thinking about it. I consider myself a sensitive, so I feel things around me. I've seen vacuums get thrown in front of my friends in my house. I've seen a lot of shit, and I pissed off a spirit once. I did something that I shouldn't have done. And I'm gonna tell that story next, because that's another fucking, might as well be ghost haunting Halloween story, because it actually came true for me. But we'll do that story next. And all I was watching TV, and the fucking next thing you know, you turn your lights on, like I'm about to do, and they're not working. It's fucked up. Oh yeah, there they go. Okay. So, and there's nothing there for me, luckily for me. But the guy that's not lucky, that's some local or tourist or just, who knows, some person just walking. People walk out here sometimes. They bike during the summer. In the wintertime, it's a different atmosphere. Wintertime, it's a different atmosphere. And in the fall, it's definitely a different atmosphere. The leaves are gone. Everything's down. It's kind of spooky. There's a lot of full moons and half moons and overcast. But tonight it's overcast. It's dark as hell. And I flicked the lights on. No one's there. But the guy that I'm talking about flicked his lights on. And then all of a sudden, he sees something off in the far distance, right ahead of him. Now, knowing that nothing could ever happen, because, people feel protected in their vehicles. I feel protected right now. But who knows? The ground we stand on has been around for a long time. It holds a lot of energy. And I believe, and this is just a theory of mine, but I've been in Muskoka for 43 years, so I know quite a bit. And I do these shows. I try to do these episodes for people from all over to understand that I'm a different, unique type of guy. And I've been through a lot of shit, people, and I still just carry myself on. Now, I'm going to tell you, lately I've been getting, and people think like ghost adventures and stuff is bullshit. Maybe some of it is. But I've seen shit in my life, and I believe some of the stuff. It might some be scripted, but I believe there are some things we can't explain. When I've seen a vacuum thrown in front, when I was a kid, I had an experience with a belt that levitated in front of me. And I know this. I remember this, and I remember it. I'm not going to get into it with you, and even to this day. So me telling this story is almost like, it feels like it could come true to me. So if this is the last episode I ever film, I want you people to know that I loved you all. I love my 2 children, Evan and Evelyn. Evelyn just started school. She's 4 years old. But I ramble between stories, and I don't mean to do that, but I'm really stoned. So let's get back to the story at hand. Flicks on his lights, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh man, you get to feel like, should the guy open the door? What should he do? Like, the lights aren't working for him. Should he go check the battery? Like, is it a coincidence that his lights were working previous, like not even 10 minutes prior, and then all of a sudden they failed after he saw something? Is that a sign? Who knows? So the guy sits discouraged, scared, Adam's apple up high in his throat, And then he's like, well, what the fuck do I do? Well, the next obvious move is the guy's going to try and start the fucking car. But yet he has to get out and get the battery, right? Check the battery. So, okay. He checks beside him. If he's anything like me, I carry a battery pack, a generator, a spotlight, and a backup flashlight plus a flashlight on my phone. And I always keep my shit usually charged. Oh, and I always carry a Nintendo Switch, and I download lots of shit on that. I just got Red Redemption remake for it. It's fucking amazing. But anyway, so the guy gets out, shaken, scared. Pops the trunk, opens the hood, just to find out that the battery terminals seem fine. Nothing's loosened. It should work. It's a brand new battery. Anyway, he gives it a jingle, encouraged that it might make it work a bit better. Something could have came loose, whatever. Everything seems tight, but it'll jingle it anyway, and whatever. Shuts the hood, goes to hop in his vehicle. And as he's sitting in his car, just about to shut the door, he feels a draft. Unlike any draft you've ever felt before. Something that came up fast, moving super fast with intent, but not knowing what he's exposed himself to. It comes into the car. The car starts freezing. It's 10 degrees out. It's hot in the car. You got your windows up because you're smoking weed, and you don't want people to smell it if they drive by or whatever. You're not that far from the road, right? The guy's not that far. And it's cold. And he knows something's in the car with him. Now his heart's pounding. Best logical thing to do is try and start the car and get the hell out and hope the spirit just hops out the fucking side of the door. They can come through the door, they can go out the door. I believe spirits are orbs. I've seen orbs, and I've seen things happen after big orbs. I believe in that shit, people. It's real. what, you don't have to believe me, but if you ever have an experience and you were a doubter, I was never a doubter. I was born sensitive, but there are doubters out there. My sister's a doubter, but she's claimed she's seen some things she cannot explain. She won't break it down the paranormal because it's not into that, but she can't explain it. And she's like, well, that's my realm. And anyway, so Buddy tries to start the car. At first, the starter kicks, but it doesn't kick all the way over. It just kicks. And he knows that starter's decent. It shouldn't be doing that. So he backs off the ignition, gives it a second, and then all of a sudden, just as he's about to turn the ignition again, something comes running up to the window and pounds on the side of it. It gets his attention quick. He turns quick, scared out of his wits, scared out of his mind. What does he do? He doesn't know what to do. What the hell is out there banging on the window? He opens up the flashlight, looks out the window, and there's no one there. Not a person, but it sounded like someone banging on that window. So now he's scared shitless. Now, panic-struck and unnerved, he starts the car, tries to start the car again. It finally kicks over, but it sounds like it's idling funny, but he doesn't care. He just wants to get the fuck out of there. Now, it's a bumpy ride in and a bumpy ride out. He knows this. He came in slow. He leaves super fast. But when he goes fast, he didn't realize that he put a piece of glass or something that was laid behind, a rock, who knows, a nail, something popped his back tire. Now he's screwed, people. His back tire's flat. He pulls over. There's nothing there for him. He doesn't have a spare. He knows he's screwed. He's got to spend the night in his car. He has no signal on his phone to get a hold of a tow truck. Now, this is one of the worst nights this guy's ever had. He knows that there's animals out here. There's myths out here. There's legends. People have come and gone, sinned, been killed, been murdered. There's been rejoiced. There's been pain. There's been a lot on this land for a very long time. It's an energy that is collected. It is a gateway area. I assure you, people, there's something here. I feel it. Every time I come here, I never ever seen an apparition, but I've seen things thrown. I've seen poltergeist activity. I've felt things. I've heard a lot of things. I've heard whispers and stuff a lot in my life, and things like people are talking to me. No one's ever there. I'm opening up to people on my show. This is who I am. I've recently realized that it's hard to be lonely, but I am alone. So this is what I do to occupy my time. When I see my kids, I see them. I do my best to be in love with them, but I want to know what's on the other side. You know, I used to write a lot. So when I go back to my times, I'm thinking of getting back into writing, and who knows, maybe see what I can do. I'm not that bad. I'm pretty good at it. I always liked writing. But anyway, all that aside, that guy's doomed. So that's the end of that story. Now I'm going to get into the story that I told you that happened to me, and this is an absolute true story. And my ex-wife and her friend and my old friend can verify it. So I swear on my life to you. And this is when I knew something was fucked in the world. I knew for sure. One night I got drunk with my ex when I had a half-decent truck. Is a 1994 F250. It's an extended cab with a 351 Cleveland. It's a beast. It's a beautiful truck. And I'm not going to admit, I don't like to admit on camera, but let's just say I was under the influence a little bit with a little bit of alcohol when I was way back in my prior, when I first started driving. So it was a lifetime ago, and I haven't done it since. It's irresponsible, and I fucked myself over. But I had a thing for luminous lights, and I drove by an old graveyard in the middle of nowhere. I'm not going to give discrimination because no one needs to know. But I saw this stand, and it had two giant orbs hanging with wind chimes that lit up, and it was beautiful. And I pulled over, and I jumped over the graveyard fence, picked it out of the ground, jumped back, put it in the back of my truck. Now, my ex and I probably shouldn't have done that. I've never done anything like that in my life before, and I'll never do it again. Because I tell you, people, you don't piss off the dead, because they come back no matter how long it takes, and they catch up to you. I'm pretty sure that's what happened to me. So let's fast forward, I don't know, 4 years later. Never thinking anything about it. I had the thing put out front, and my wife, this exact same orbs that stood at the graveyard, was standing in front of my wife's house, blowing in the wind, glowing in the dark. They lit up. They were fucking amazing. And one day, it just so happened that I had, like I said, my ex, her best friend, and my old friend over, and they were visiting us, and we had my son Nevin, and they had their daughter Cadence. And so I'm in the kitchen, and we're in District Housing, so it's a basic layout of a, 2-story apartment. townhouse. But anyway, and there's a bang, 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 and I'm in the back, in the kitchen, and it's on the back door in the kitchen, which went to my backyard, of course. And I knew it sounded like someone super tall that banged at the top of the door, and I knew something wasn't right. I got the feeling. But my wife, I was in middle conversation with my ex. I had my back to her. She opened the door and peeked her head out and looked, and there's nobody there. I swear to God, nobody was there. And I'm like, whatever, there might be kids doing Nicky Nicky Nine Door, because our next door neighbor had a few young kids that lived there, right? And I'm like, okay, it couldn't be coincidence, whatever, bullshit, right? Someone fucking around. Put it out of my mind for like not even 3 minutes. And then 3 minutes later, it was like something, like a cop knock at the top of the door. Somebody's really tall, boom, boom, boom. And I was standing right next to the door people. And I'm like, okay, fuck, whatever. I opened the fucking door, mad as hell. I was going to fucking freak out at whoever was out there, whatever, cop or not, I didn't care. Someone shouldn't be pounding my door like that, right? Nothing. Not a fucking thing. Nobody was there at all. And I looked, and there's no wind, there's no neighbor. It's just a quiet evening, you know. It was like 6 p.m., so it wasn't quite dark. It was dusk. And I shut the door mad. And I walk away, and I chalk it off as nothing. And my ex chalked it off as nothing. And we walked into the living room. Now, this vacuum was sitting in the kitchen on an angle, because our kitchen would be here like this, and then our hallway went like this, and the living room was right here. Vacuum was right next to the stove. I got my back in the hallway right here next to the stairs that go upstairs, and my ex and her friend, and her boyfriend, which is my old friend, whatever, is sitting there in the living room. And that's the vacuum, a little dirt devil. The thing couldn't have weighed anymore, than like, I don't know, 10 pounds, if that. It was light, right? It was just a small one. But it had some weight to it. That's, you know what I mean? And it physically came around the corner on a direct 90 from where it went and landed just next to my friend against the wall and hit the wall at such a force it put a fucking dent in the drywall with the top of the vacuum handle, and then hit the ground. And I'm like, oh my God, what just happened? What was that? Did you see that? And unfortunately at that time, people, I wish I had it on film, man, because that would have been the best poltergeist activity I've ever seen, and it would have been authentic. I swear to God. But we didn't have a camera. We weren't expecting it. It just happened. And I knew the day after, I had a dream. That what I did had the repercussions, and the spirit was vengeful and finally found me after looking years to find me. He finally found me, people. And he fucking let me know it. And then ever since then, I think back and I think of all the tragedies that have happened to me, all the bad things, the breakup with my ex, a lot of my decisions, the way I've my moral compass, I've always been a good guy and stuff, but a bunch of bad shit, and I've had bad spending habits because I haven't been able to get my shit together. I think about that too. So I'm telling you, there's things out there that will do things to you. Don't fuck around with the dead. I haven't done a Ouija board session because I believe that shit could be really bad after what I've seen. And EVPs, I've heard things, so I know that shit's real. And I follow a lot of shit. And I love Survivor, man, right? So like I'm sitting out here right now just wondering if I should just do and try and figure out if I can get like hear spirits or anything, right? Or catch anything on film. But unfortunately for me, all I have is this camera phone. I need to upgrade, which will happen one of these days when I if I decide to do the show, pursue it more. I have a lot of ideas for a lot of things. I'm a man that does many things at once. I can't explain it to you. Anyway, it's going to be Halloween. I booked the Halloween off to spend with my kids. So I'm wondering, I'm not going to promise people, but I might try and put up a short clip, my films on, short clip film of my children on Halloween to show how cute they were and what they looked like. So you people can see. I genuinely love my children. Halloween's my favorite day of the year. So I believe, I do believe in things. I go to graveyards. I told you people, talk to your loved ones. Anyway, I hope this thing's still recording, but if not, it's all good. I'm going to conclude the end of my video because I'm getting tired. I'm going to do one stoner corner real quick. Cannabis corner, fee style. I'm going to tell you people, if I were to do a show and I could become famous, my way of doing it would be getting high with the enhanced perception and go into a situation with even all the latest gear towards spirit hunting and see what I could find in different locations like Zach. The only difference is I would be authentic. I'm not saying he's not. I believe he could be. A lot of stuff he gets could be, you know, but that's the thing about people that get with TV channels and stuff. That's why I want to do an independent film of my own show and bring it to you, just like everyone else on TV that has YouTube channels and stuff. The only difference is, like, I'm from one of the oldest areas, you know, Precambrian Shield, Muskoka. It's, you know, we had steamships, a lot of rich people from all over the world come up here. There's been mobsters, there's been actors, there's hockey players that live out in Muskoka that have these huge cottages, lawyers, people of high, like, there's a lot up here. None of yous know. That's why I tell you people, come up here, but respect our area. And we try to respect you as the best we can. But get back to me. I'm giving a shout out to my friend Dakar, you know, my friend Veach, you know, my friend Major, you know, my brother, my sister, my mom, who I love very much, my son, my daughter, you know, all my friends at work, you know, 2 girls that I know that I work with that are still remaining, that work their asses off. Alex and Amanda, I respect you both. I know you don't watch my channel. I'll send you my channel link and hopefully you watch it. Because this episode's also for you. It's a Halloween special because I think you girls are cool and I just thought I'd put it out there. These girls work hard, man. If half the men work like them, it's crazy. Been working with them for quite a while now. All that aside, be good to one another. Go out, get stoned. Try and record some fucking EVPs. Make a ghost video, who knows? And I'll see you on the flip side. Love yous all. Best wishes. Peace, love. And Allen's Toffee. Halloween style candies. Love yous all. Till next time.